Hey everyone, it's Mike with Monkey Fab. I just want to talk a little bit about this project I got going on here, this BRZ Subaru. I'm doing for a friend. He was having some cooling issues. He had upgraded it. It's got a full race turbo kit on it, and he had some upgrades done on it, and is running into cooling issues. So I probably should have did like the whole video on all this, but I wasn't really feeling it, so I didn't at the time. So but I'll catch you up to where I am now. When he brought it in, this trim piece here was like, it covered this bar basically, the bumper molding itself. So and then they had the oil cooler just mounted here. So this was literally just all oil cooler here, and the only spots that were actually getting any air was just here and here. So there wasn't enough surface area, I really think, to get what he needed out of it. So he brought it to me and he said, hey, see what you can do to handle these coolant temperatures. I have some some ideas, and he came up with this idea of how he wanted to block it off and trim up the bumper. So he did that. We built this little this deal right here, basically blocking off all the air in the front and forcing it through the intercooler. I left this open up here, but it's sealed off on the back of the radiator. So let a little bit of air pass the intercooler. I just think that forcing everything through the intercooler and not getting some back there to it actually has a condenser. The AC still works in this thing, and the radiator was just asking too much. So I left this open. I can always go back and seal it off later, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think we're actually going to have probably too much cooling. So we also, on the inside here, kind of sealed it up. It'll be easier to see when I take the bumper off. And same over here at this side, it's just kind of sealed up, kind of forcing the air to go through the radiator. So here is where I am on the oil cooler. I started yesterday. So you probably saw in the last video I did, me just kind of staring at the car endlessly and holding up the oil cooler, taking it down, doing some stuff, some cardboard cutouts, putting it back up there. That's just kind of how it works. I mean, you have to figure out what constraints you have and what you're working with. There's some bars in here and stuff that had to be cut out, some stuff with the lights that had to be manipulated in order to get this guy to fit. And then basically just made a box, and we came up with this design here that just fits right into there. So that guy's going to be all oil cooler all the time, and I'm pretty happy with that. I still got to make some brackets, to hold that to the body. My idea is, nothing's attached to the bumper, so they can take the bumper on and off without having to worry about unbolting 20,000 different things. It'll be, as easy as when they brought it in here to me. So we'll have to make some support system for that guy, hold it in place, and then we're going to do a cold air intake over on this other side, and we'll basically kind of do the same thing. Take some aluminum and kind of make a duct in there. We'll do some stuff to, if it's raining, to shoot the water around the pipe. And yeah, I think else you'll be easier to see once I get this thing down the ground, take the bumper cover off. So I'll do that now. So here we are with the bumper off, and you can see a little bit of the ducting work that I was talking about. Just forcing the air through the cooling system. And over here, you can kind of see where I cut this bar off that was here. That was originally made to hold the oil cooler, but it didn't put it in front of the the fog lights that we cut out, and the guy that owns the car was adamant on that, you know, put it in front of the fog lights so we get some air. So that was no big deal. So once we get that we'll position that cooler in place, kind of like I just showed you in the last picture where it's just sitting in there, and we'll basically make a mount. Probably goes, that feels pretty solid, to here to hold that in place, and then maybe one on the bottom to support it. Just see how it feels once we get it. And then over here, too much, but I mean, it's not going to suffer for dissipating heat. It's got plenty of ability to do that now. I'll drop this. Well, let's raise it up, and I'll give you the grand tour. I'm sure there's lots of people that probably see the title and just drop by just to check it out, because they are BRZ, FRZ fanboy types, and that's cool, because this is a pretty cool car. I originally saw it about a year ago, and I just thought, wow, what a fun car this guy is. So it's got the, check that out, it's got the badass full race exhaust manifold. It was pretty neat. I remember back in my Honda days checking their stuff out, and Jeff Reiser, I think it is, starting his company up, and glad to see them doing so well, even after, you know, all this time, or especially after all this time. You know, it's got the turbo kind of sets, obviously it's a top mount, and it just kind of drops the downpipe there. It runs through here. It's got a custom-made exhaust that Aldo did at Aldo Welds. That's got a bypass on it, so he can flip the switch and just have it straight pipe, or he can run it through the muffler, which is how it's running now, because my neighbors already hate me enough. And it's got nice carbon fiber, it looks like, drive shaft. I don't know if that's stock or factory. Yeah, so it probably is. They do some pretty cool things with these cars. So that's the undercarriage. It's got these massive wheels and tires on them. Who makes these? Turn it, AP Racing. The tires are 265, 35s, 18s. They're just massive. They rub all up in these wheel liners. In the back are the same size. I don't believe they're staggered. We'll check. What does it say? It says 265, 35, 18. So they're set front and back. It's got a wrap on it right now. Seen better days, and Dye's gonna have it rewrapped once we get done here, I think he said. So that's the underneath. We'll drop it down, take a look at the top. So it's got carbon fiber trunk lid on it, with the mismatched Toyota "Oh what a feeling" signal on there. He's got some like little squiggly track things on there. I'm assuming that's because he's been to those tracks. And this is pretty sturdy here. This goes down into the floor pan of the trunk, where the battery is also located at. And it's got, I like this wrap. it's like a copper with like a grain to it. Like I can show it. It's like a wood grain looking thing, but it's pretty neat. And but like I said, he's planning on getting it rewrapped. I hope he sticks with the same color. I think it's pretty cool. And it has racing seats on both sides, but he came by. Oh, grab a light so you can see what's going on. And had racing seats on both sides, the Sparkos, and it's got a crazy short throw shifter on there, and it's got like a little 6-point cage in there now. He's going to take it and have a full cage put inside it. It's required for, he was saying that's required for the class racing he wants to do. And here's a shot down the side. It's kind of cool. And under the hood, got the cardboard, the special cardboard. Yeah, So you can see more of the turbo system here. And we're going to be wrapping that with some special heat wrap, kind of try to keep some of the heat in the exhaust and get it out of the engine bay. After removing over half of that bumper and making this air ducting for it, I don't think that's going to be an issue, but he's got the stuff and wants to get it done, so we're going to do that. We're happy to do so. There's something going on with the oil pan that the mod was done incorrectly, and we're going to be addressing that too, taking the oil pan out. And we're going to make an intake pipe. I'm thinking I'm going to try my hand at titanium, and we're just going to drop it down through there. It'll sit, basically where the other fog light's at. And I think that's it. I keep saying and. So, oh, I got a cool little catch can we made to fit in the battery tray. He's got the, whoops. He's got a fuel reservoir going on over here. I think he was having issues with slop in the stock tank when he was under high G cornering. So they got this guy which just pumps the fuel from the fuel tank up to the surge tank, and then it's drawing all the fuel from the surge tank. When the surge tank's full, it just returns the fuel back to the gas tank. Seen this in a lot of different setups, and they usually work pretty good. We got this little and I got my little monkey fab breather. It's going to go right besides the fuel surge tank, and that should wrap it up. So that's where we're at. It's taking longer than I really would have liked it to, but that's how it works when you're dealing with the abstracts. The putting stuff in between things that move and are removed, and then make sure you got a good tight fit up. It's just a time-consuming deal. It's try a little, shave a little off. You can always take more off, but you can't put more back on, so to say. So it just takes time and patience. I mean, you saw on my last video, I just come over here, stick it in there, take it out, shave a little off, stick it back in there. Take a look, and it just gets to be it's tedious work. So we'll go ahead and start working again on the oil cooling system, and hopefully get that all wrapped up tonight so we can start working on the intake. So maybe we can get this thing out of here by the end of the weekend, or maybe early next week. Thanks. Rigid. Ruffles have ridges? Alright, so that is that. So we got the oil cooler kind of buttoned up. Still got to go back and like run the oil lines for it, and plumb it, you know, put the lines on it. I got to paint the metal that's raw there. And then this guy was our only real big problem. Was it needs to go here, and it's hitting the back of this. Obviously there's no way to hang that core without that, so I'm going to make a kind of a foot, kind of extend this foot out and make it kind of extra long so it can bolt in over here and here, and all that does is just holds the splitter from pulling down. So that should be, as long as I engineer it right, it should be fine. So that's where I wanted to be tonight, was to get this guy on. I'll throw the bumper back on. So there you go. Front end, the little oil cooler in its place, and we'll go back in here with the abrasive wheel and clean this up so it's nice and smooth all the way around there, kind of like what we did up here with this guy. And tomorrow we'll get started on the intake stuff. Start running the airbox down there, bending up the sheet metal. It's just more of the same. Take the bumper off, fit stuff, put the bumper back on, see if it fits, get everything tacked in position, and just get it knocked out. So we'll get that done and keep the show going along. Hope you enjoyed.